From waypoints across the compass, welcome to the adventure. Our journey begins here in Cimarron, New Mexico, a place of deep history, rich traditions, and a cultural spirit that has stood the test of time. Join us in the start of something incredible. We're on a mission to explore and document all 650 historical markers in New Mexico, each one a piece of the state's unique past, telling stories of ancient civilizations, frontier battles, forgotten legends, and cultural milestones. And it all starts right here. We're headed to Colfax County as part of our very first expedition. To get there, we'll take the legendary high road up into the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, a route known for its breathtaking peaks, winding roads, and historic villages scattered along the way. As we make our way, we pass other historical markers, each with their own unique stories. But those will have to wait for other expeditions. For now, we're concentrating on our mission, which is to reach 3 target historical markers near Cimarron, New Mexico, located in Colfax County. We're taking the high road to Taos as part of the Enchanted Circle route, known for its stunning beauty. Our expedition takes us through Taos. Taos itself is a crossroads of history, an ancient gathering place of indigenous peoples, Spanish settlers, and American frontiersmen. From Taos, we head into a deep mountain pass to reach Angel Fire, New Mexico, named after the fiery glow of the sunset reflecting off the mountains. Just outside the village of Angel Fire, nestled among the towering pines, lies the tranquil Monteverde Lake. We continue deeper into the high mountains to discover the history, legends, and lore of this enchanted area. In our travel, we discover steep rock walls that tower over us in breathtaking fashion. We spot another historical marker, another expedition for another time. If you get the chance, I recommend you take this trip. It's a beautiful scenic area teeming with wildlife. Our expedition has reached its destination in the small town of Cimarron. We begin our search for our first historical marker. And here is our first historical marker with the history on the town of Cimarron itself. This is an iconic stop along the mountain branch of the historic Santa Fe Trail. With a population of just 888 people and an elevation of over 6,000 feet. This small town carries a massive historical legacy. This area was a crossroads of cultures, home to Native American tribes, Spanish settlers, and American frontiersmen. Perhaps the most notable frontiersman, businessman, and land baron in this region was Lucien B. Maxwell, who would become the largest private landowner in U.S. history. His headquarters in Cimarron became the center of ranching, trade, and frontier expansion in the Southwest. His Maxwell land grant covered an astonishing 2 million acres, stretching across present-day northern New Mexico and southern Colorado. If you're looking for a place steep in stories of the Old West, then this is the place. Cimarron is filled with tales of cowboys, outlaws, and lawmen. And just down the road, we discovered what was once a gathering place for the likes of Jesse James, Buffalo Bill, and other legends of the Old West. The famous St. James Hotel. The St. James Hotel, established in 1872, has a storied past filled with tales of gunfights and notorious figures of the Old West. The hotel's bar area still bears over 20 bullet holes in its ceiling, silent witnesses to the violent altercations that once took place there. Among the many dangerous figures who passed through the St. James Hotel, one of the most infamous was the outlaw Thomas Blackjack Ketchum. Ketchum was just not another outlaw passing through. He was a ruthless train robber and gang leader whose criminal exploits left a bloody mark on the Southwest. Originally a cowboy, he and his brother Sam turned to a life of crime in the 1890s. The Ketchum gang specialized in robbing trains, stagecoaches, and banks, often operating in New Mexico, Texas, and Arizona. And here is where we find our second marker. The Ketchum gang had a hideout near Turkey Creek Canyon near Cimarron. It served as a stronghold for the outlaws and a base for their operations during the Reign of Terror in the late 1890s. Ultimately, the gang began to see veiled attempts in the robberies. But determined to continue their spree, Blackjack Ketchum attempted a solo robbery on August 16, 1899 near Folsom, New Mexico. He ultimately failed in this effort and was shot in the arm. Ketchum fell off his horse bleeding heavily and with no gang to back him up at the time. He was captured, alive, and taken into custody. Ketchum was sentenced to death by hanging, becoming the only person in the U.S. to be executed for train robbery. Although on April 26, 1901, his hanging was a botched event, which one could read further in detail. And next to this marker, we find our third historical marker for this expedition, which is on the Colfax County War. At the heart of the Colfax County War was the Maxwell Land Grant, which was the massive 2 million acre tract that belonged to Lucien Maxwell. After Maxwell sold the land to foreign investors, the settlers, ranchers, and homesteaders, many of whom had lived there for generations, resisted being removed. This sparked a series of violent confrontations between the new landowners and the locals. The tensions escalated into a prolonged and bloody conflict that lasted about 20 years from the 1870s into the 1890s. In the end, the foreign investors retained control. Despite the fierce resistance, many settlers and homesteaders were evicted or bought out. Over time, the land was divided and sold to private individuals, ranchers, and corporations. Today, the former Maxwell land grant is split among wildlife preserves, state parks, and private ranches. The largest portion, 550,000 acres, is owned by the media mogul Ted Turner and is known as Bermejo Park Ranch. As we explore these markers, we come across a fourth historical marker that's tied to a significant chapter of New Mexico's past, the Santa Fe Trail. Cimarron played a vital role as a key point along this famous route. The full story of the trail and its impact will be featured in an upcoming expedition. Having completed our mission in this first journey, we began our trip home, tracing the historic Santa Fe Trail route from Raton, New Mexico toward Santa Fe. Along the way, we're met with a brilliant sunset, its warm glow reminding us of the origin of the name Angel Fire. We passed by Las Vegas, New Mexico, a town rich in history and filled with its own discoveries and historical markers waiting to be explored. As the sun sets, we return home, excited to plan our next expedition and uncover more hidden stories as we continue to travel through the enchantment. Thanks for joining us today. Please like and subscribe to be part of this ongoing adventure and stay tuned for new, exciting updates. See you on the next journey.